Hello friends, myself Satyendra Vats, Assistant Professor ETCE Department in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. So today I am going to deliver a lecture in digital electronics under the topic is programmable logic devices, that is PLDs. We have already learned in previous chapters about combinational and sequential digital circuits. Various ICs performs various fixed operations such as multiplexers. We have learned about the ICs like multiplexer, demultiplexers, adders, converters, registers, counters. All these ICs can be used to implement sequential and combinational logic circuits which can perform some specific or fixed function. These ICs are manufactured by the manufacturers and cannot be programmed at the user end. We can use them only for implementing some combinational or sequential circuit. But there are some advantages of these ICs like low development cost and relatively they are easy to test the circuits. On the other hand, some disadvantages are there also, like they take large space on the board, that is the space requirement is very large for these ICs if we implement functions using these ICs, large power requirements and lack of security, that is circuit can be copied by others. On the other hand, we also have ASICs, that is application specific integrated circuits, which can also be used to implement these combinational and sequential digital circuit. But there are some of the disadvantages of ASICs are that the development cost is very high. So uh, there are programmable logic devices which falls in the middle category. It combines the advantages of both ICs and ASICs. So there are some of the advantages like it has a short design cycle, low development cost, uh, reduction in space requirement, also design security, compact circuitry. So a programmable logic device PLD is an IC that is user configurable, that is we can configure them at user end and are capable of implementing logic functions. So they are also used for implementing logic functions. It is a VLSI chip. VLSI means very large scale integration chip that contains a regular structure and allows the designer to customize it for specific applications. Okay, so we have so many types of PLDs over there, like PROM, that is programmable read only memory, PAL, that is programmable array logic, PLA, that is programmable logic array. CPLDs and FPGAs are also there. CPLDs means complex programmable logic devices and FPGAs are field programmable gate arrays. So FPGAs we will see in the last. First of all, we start with how PLDs work. PLDs consist of arrays of AND gate and OR gates, which we can configure at user end. The internal logic gates and connection of PLDs can be changed or configured by a programmer, that is at the user end. We can use a particular PLD to implement a particular logic function. So what it consists of? It consists of arrays of ANDs and arrays of OR gates, which comes with the intact fuse, which we can blown up using the programming. So whatever function we want to implement, first of all we calculate the truth table of the function, and then find out the expression and what are the min terms or product terms are there, and what are the sum terms are there. We can implement like for and array is used to implement the product terms, that is min terms, and or array is used for sum terms, that is max terms, and combining both this product and sum terms we can implement the logic functions. Okay, so I have already told you about the advantages. The design cycles is low development cost, reduction in board space requirement, reduction in power requirements, and so many other advantages over conventional ICs and ASICs. So now next move to our first topic, that is programmable read only memory. So our first topic is in PLDs is prompts, that is read only memories, and these can be implemented using a decoder, as you can see in the picture. Using a decoder and an array of OR gates. In ROMs we have programmable OR gates and fixed AND structure, that is the product terms are fixed. So we have a k input. In this example we have 5 inputs, that is I0 to I4. In general we can have k inputs, and if we want to implement a function with n outputs, then what we will get a 2 raised to power k into n size read only memory. This is the size of the ROM that we will implement. Using this ROM we can implement so many combinational circuit to get a specific functions. So here we have n outputs, k inputs, and an array of 2 raised to power k into n. So as we have k inputs, we will have 2 raised to power k min terms in this. 2 raised to power k min terms. If we have 5 inputs, we will have 32 min terms, as we can see in the picture. Here we have 5 inputs and 32 min terms, which are available for every OR gate. And using these fuses, there are 32 into 8 fuses over there, which we can program, that is 256 fuses, which we can program to implement our functions. We can blow up the fuse using programming and implement whatever the function we want. So it uses a decoder and a array of OR gates. Okay, so let's see an example how can we implement a function using OR or ROM. Here is an example. We have a 2:4 decoder, that is if we have 2 inputs. Okay, if we have 2 inputs, then we have 2 raised to power 2 is equal to 4 min terms, that is D0, D1, D2, D3, and we have 4:2 ROM, that is 2 number of outputs A0 and A1. So every OR gate will have 4 inputs, that is 2 raised to power 2. 4 inputs, 1 2 3 4, and it comes with 4 into 2, that is 8 fuses, as we have seen earlier. 2 raised to power k into n fuses. Okay, so in this example we have 2 inputs, that is 2 raised to power 2 min terms and 2 outputs. So 4 into 2 will become 8, that is 8 fuses are there which we can use to program our logic. Okay, so here we can implement a function like if we want D1 D2 D3 in the OR gate A1, we can blown up the fuse D0, that is here we have blown that fuse and the D1 D2 and D3 fuses are intact. Okay, so A1, the output of A1 will be D1 plus D2 plus D3. Similarly, the output of output A0 would be D0 plus D2, as we have uh, the fuses at D0 and D2 in gate A0 intact, and the fuses of D1 and D3 have been blown up to get the particular function. Let us see an example. We have to implement the function f1, which is a function of inputs x1 x2 up to xk. Similarly, we can have a function fn, which is a function of x1 x2 xk. So it can be realized using a ROM since we have k inputs. So we need to have a 2:k decoder, and we will have 2 raised to power k min terms, and the size of the ROM will be 2 raised to power k into n, as n is the number of output. So here we can see there are 2 inputs x1 and x2, and 3 functions are implemented using these inputs. Here this is f1, this is f2, this is f3, and our when we see the truth table, what is f1? F1 is x2 x1 bar. F1 is x1 bar x2 bar because it is the min term first. 0 0 is m1. Similarly 0 1 is m2. 1 0 is m3. These things you have already learned in previous chapters, and 1 1 will become min term m4. So I expect all of you know these things. Okay, so what is f1? F1 is m naught plus m3. As you can see, here are these fuses are intact in f1, m0 and m3. So f1 will be equal to m0 plus m3. Okay, similarly f2 is m0 only, there is only one min term m0, and m3 is m0 plus m2 plus m3. So this is how you can implement a logic function. We must first calculate the truth table for the function which we want to implement. Okay, here are the truth tables. All of you know how to generate the truth tables. Okay, this is the truth table. If we know the function, here the function f1 is the min terms 0 2. f2 is the function x2 plus x1 bar, that is NOR of x1 x2, and function x3 is, what is function x3? Function x3 is the max term m1. Okay, so this is how we can implement a function using a ROM. We need a decoder and an array of OR, so we can implement our function using this ROM. Let us see another example. So this is now our next topic is our next topic is PLA, that is programmable logic array. Okay, in programmable logic array we'll have both and or arrays which we can program, that is both and arrays and or arrays comes with the fuses which we can blown up to implement our function. That is both and arrays and or arrays are programmable at the user, and user can program them to implement a function he wants to implement. Okay, so now we have here n inputs. We have n inputs over there. For every input we will have a complemented form and uncomplemented form as well. So if we have n inputs, then we will have 2 times of nk fuses. N into n is the number of inputs, okay, and k is the product terms, number of product terms. And since we have both complemented and uncomplemented forms, we will have 2 into n into k fuses. Okay, we'll see an example for that also. In PLAs, instead of using a decoder, like we were using a decoder in read only memory ROM, we use an array of AND gate over there. Okay, and OR will be there as it was in ROM. And OR gates inside the programmable logic array are initially fabricated with the links fuses with them, so we can blow up the fuses to implement our function. So let's see how we can implement a function using PLA. Okay, so we have we have the PLA example. We want to implement these functions, function f1 and f2. We have generated the truth table for the same. Okay, now we want to implement this using a PLA. So we will find the minimum expression for this function using k-maps, which you all have already learned in previous chapters. So I expect you to know all these things. So how we can implement get the k-map using minterms. For f1 it comes out to be a bar into b bar, because we are implementing using minterms. A bar b bar plus a bar c bar plus b bar c bar. And f, we will calculate both the functions, the true function f1 and the complemented form as well. Sorry, if we take one in the that k map, we can, like we can see over there, here we are once in the minterms where the function is high, where the value of the function is high, we have 1 over there. All the minterms are high where the function value is high, that is 1. And where the function is 0, we have inserted zeros over there. So we can calculate f1 using the ones, pairing ones. As you all know, in k-maps we find the expression using the pairing. So we can see how we can implement the function f over there. We have one pair is this one pair is this one, and one pair is this one. So you can calculate the minimum expression, which comes out to be a bar b bar plus a bar c bar plus b bar c bar. And similarly we have found the complemented function of f1 using the zeros. Okay, similarly we can find the function f2 and its complemented form. Now we want to implement the logic functions, so we will try to use as few number of minterms to minimize the circuit. So we can see that F1 is A bar B bar plus A bar C bar plus B bar C bar, and F1 complement is AB plus AC plus BC. Similarly, F2 is AB plus AC plus A bar B bar C bar, and F2 bar is A bar C plus A bar B plus A B bar C bar. So we can implement the two function F1 and M2 F2 using only 4 minterms, that is these 4 minterms. We have to check that, we have to drive how can we minimize our circuit. So by using only 4 product terms AB, AC, BC and A bar, B bar, C bar, we can implement both the function. Let's see how. Here we have array of AND gates, okay, array of AND gates and array of OR gates. Since we have only 2 functions, so we will have only 2 outputs or 2 OR gates, and we have 3 inputs A, B, C. We will have 3 inputs A, B, C in true form and 3 in complemented form, that is 6 inputs, and number of fuses in the AND array would be 6 into number of product terms, that is 4. 6 into 4, that is we only need now 24 fuses, okay. And on the output side, how many fuses we need? We need 4, as 4 is the product terms we are using to implement these functions, and into 2 outputs are there, 2 function, so we will need 8 fuses over there, okay. So we can see over there that our F1 is, what is F1? F1 is AB plus AC plus BC in the complemented form, that is F1 bar is AB plus AC plus BC. So we need 3 product term to implement F1. Similarly, F2 can be implemented using 3 minterms AB, AC and A bar, B bar, C bar, and it is in the true form, so we don't need to complement it. Now how we can implement that? We have 3 inputs A, B, C. We have used the complemented form as well, so we have 6 inputs and 4 product terms. 4 AND gates will be used, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we have 6 into 4, that is 24 fuses, and for on the output side we have 4 into 2, that is 8 fuses. So we can see how can we implement the logic. Here the F1 will be F1 bar, as we have decided to implement complemented form, so F1 will be implemented using this gate and F2 will be implemented using this gate. So F1, we need F1, but we have calculated F1 bar, so using a XOR gate we can get our F1, and since the F2 was in true form only, we will get it over there. So this is how we can implement our function using programmable logic array, that is PLA, in which both AND arrays and OR arrays are programmable. So next topic now is PAL, programmable array logic. We can also implemented functions using programmable array logic, in which we have only this part, that is the AND array as programmable. We will get the PAL with the fuses in the AND array only, and the OR array is fixed. We cannot program that. We cannot program that. We can only program this part of the PAL. Let's see how. So device is shown in this figure has 4 inputs. So we will have 4 input in the true form and the complemented form, that is 8 inputs. Okay, and have each input has a buffer inverter gate that is the same to get the complemented form, and a array of fixed OR gates. So device has 4 sections, each composed of a 3 wide AND OR array. There is a AND OR array over there. 3 and 1 OR, 3 and 1 4. So all functions are implemented using 3 and 1 OR. Each AND gate has 10 programmable input connections. So we have 10 programmable, 0 to 9 programmable, that is it comes with the fuses. We can blow up the fuses to implement our function. Let's see in the example how it works. Okay, there we have to implement these functions. There are 4 functions: w, x, y, z. W, x, y, z. We have 4 inputs a, b, c, d, and these are the function, that is minterm 2, 12, 13, minterm 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we will calculate the product terms, that is the minterms, and implement the functions using truth table and k maps. So we have already simplified it over there. The function x comes out to be a plus bcd. It has 2 minterms. Function y has a bar b plus cd plus b bar d bar. It has 3 minterms. Function z has w plus a c bar d bar plus a bar b bar c bar into d, and w is since we have z, this is the function z, in which we can see that the function in the yellow is the w, so we can replace that function by w over there. So it becomes w, and w is already written over there. So these are the minterms used to implement these 4 functions. Okay, so let's see how we can implement it. We have 4 inputs over there, a b c d, in complemented and uncomplemented forms, and as we can see we were getting w in z, so we have using w also, w and w bar. So we have 8 plus 2 is equal to 10 input lines over there: a bar, b bar, c bar, d bar, w and w bar. Okay, so as we can see we can implement z. We have how many product terms are there in x? We have only 2 product terms. So in x we have 2 product terms, that is we are using only 2 AND gates, and all the fuses of the third AND gate have been blown up because we don't want any interconnect over there. We have only 2 minterms. So this is how we can implement our function using PAL, that is only programmable AND part, and the OR part is intact. We cannot program it. Okay, so next topic is complex programmable logic devices. It is nothing but a interconnection of many PLDs or PAL or PLAs, so that we can uh, implement complex functions which we cannot implement using PAL and PLs. So here we have number of PLDs interconnecting by a matrix. These all PLDs can be configured individually. Okay, and after that we can configure that interconnection matrix to implement the complex function. Okay, so FPGA is a part of CPLD, that is complex programmable logic device. It consists of three parts. FPGA consists of three parts. That is, first is programmable logic structure. These all squares are programmable logic structures. Second is the programmable routing structure. Okay, so routing, vertical and horizontal routing channels are there. These are the horizontal channels and these are the vertical channels. So we can use these fuses over there to interconnect these PLDs. So there are vertical routings as well, horizontal routing. We can configure them using the fuses it comes with to interconnect many PLDs. Also we have a programmable input and output connections. There are many buffers that can be configured either as input buffers, output buffers, or input output buffers. So these are programmable buffers which we can use as input outputs. We can like we have uh, inputs in the chips, ICs. These are input and these are outputs. Similarly we have these programmable input output connections over there which can be used as input and the same can be used as output also. Okay, so this is how we can implement our complex functions using CPLDs and FPGAs. So we have seen in this lecture how we can implement logical functions using PLAs, PALs, ROMs or FPGAs instead of conventional ICs. Okay, thank you. That is for the lecture.